Hello and welcome back to my channel, this is Chen, and this is your fourth Python tutorial video. So today we're going to learn about comments and lists. So before that, let us look at what we learned last time. Last time we learned about strings and slicing up strings. So strings are basically words or letters assigned to a variable, and we learned how to slice it up, which basically means we learned how to find which letter is in a specific number position and which letters are in a specific range. Then we learned how to add strings, I guess. Remember Happy New Year Sonam Tintin Kinga by giving each name a variable and just adding it in the print function. So yes, that's it. So without further ado, let us start today's lesson. So today we're going to touch upon comments first. So what are comments? Comments are the part of the code which Python doesn't read. So for example, let's say we just type this wrong, stuff out. So Python is trying to read that because we have not told Python that this is a comment. So Python is trying to read it and it doesn't understand it. So which gives out a syntax error. So how can you let Python know that this is supposed to be a comment and you shouldn't try to read it? So then comments comes in now. So comments, we use hashtag for comments, and when we use that hashtag, now Python knows that part he should skip it. So which basically means that he should skip this part and go on to the next. So Python will ignore this and go on to the next functions. So let's say we wrote the same thing, and then see, Python doesn't read it. So because Python already understands that this is not supposed to be read. So that's where comment comes in. But why is comment important, right? Why should we prohibit Python to read something? Comments are important because in the future, when we need to understand a code, or when we need to understand our code we coded long time ago, comments help us a lot. So there are, for example, let us say we want to understand that print function. Let's say this is a print function. Hello. Alright, then I commented this, and then I said I use the print function. I said I use this. So let's say hello. Alright, that's it. So now let's say there was this code after a long time, and let's say you forgot about Python, you don't remember anything about Python. Then now you can go to the comment and read it, so then you can understand that this is a print function below. So now you understand that this is a print function and it prints out stuff. So yes, that's why comment is important, and you have to use comments because in the near future it will help you. It'll help you, not others. So yes, that's why comments are important. Now moving on, let's talk about lists. Lists are basically like strings, but it is like a number of strings in a variable. So for example, let's make it list. Let's say players equals, you must be thinking you can use it like this or like this. Or let's say that you want to find out the roll number of roll number of your class students. So this is where the list comes in. So let's say let's go from 12. Okay, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Let's say now you got all these numbers, but that's not how you make a list. You need to put square brackets. So you need to use square brackets to tell Python that this is a list. So now that it is in square brackets, Python knows that this is a list. So now let us call on the list. So let's say players. So now Python is giving us the list of our list. So yes, the list of our lists. Now, like in strings, we can slice up this as well. So let's say we want to find out which number is in the third position, which is this one. So we can find out, we can manually say it's 15, but let us see Python players square brackets and go. Alright, so it's 16. Oh, also 3, but still now we know how to find which which number is in a specific number position. Yes, it's kind of the same as last time, but yes, that's it. Now, let us say, like before, let us say we want to find out the range again. So now we use this colon, so which means that this part is empty, this part is empty, because now Python understands that it starts from 0. So we say 0, but if you want it to start from 1 or 2 or something, you can manually add it over here. But if you like want to start from 0, you can keep it blank, so Python will understand it. Python will understand that it starts from 0, it starts from the first line. So from 0 to 2. Alright. What? Oh my god. Oh, players. Oh, god. Alright. Alright, there. 12 and 13. So 0, 0, 1. So it stops like right before 2. So that's it. And then let us say you wanna add more numbers to the list. So you can say players plus let's say you wanna add 24 and 21. Alright. So yes, that's now you have added to the list, but it is not permanently there. So let's see. Right. So call on the players function again, and it is not permanently there. So now how you add more numbers to the list to be permanently there is by using the append function. I've really not talked about functions, but yes, I'll just give a brief introduction on it. So players, we use the dot, which means do something to this variable, like change something to this variable, or like change it in a way. So append, which means like adding on a list. Yes, it's like adding on a list or something, but you understand it, right? It's adding on a list. So append, let us say 12, 120. I'll add 120. Alright, so now let's call on the players, and then there's 120 here. So that's how you add more numbers in a list permanently. So that's how you do it. So now let's say you want to replace these two. Let's say you want to replace these two. So you use players, and then this, and go this to 2 equals, let's say 0. Let's make it something really like noticeable. So 0 to 0. So which now let's say it's called a function. So yes, that's how you replace lists. So we have changed 12 and 13 to 0 and 0. So that's pretty much about list. But there, like the list function, or the list yes, the list, how to say that now? The use of list in Python is very vast, so you can use it in a lot of ways, but today I'm going to be teaching you this because this is like the basic foundation of using list. You'll be using list in my future tutorials as well, so this is like a foundation on using list. So yes, that's it. And also I have to remind you guys that from the next tutorial we'll be downloading a text editor, because now we'll be going a bit more advanced, so we'll need to write a lot more code than this. So yes, so be ready. I'll also like, don't be scared, because I'll like teach you guys how to download a text editor, and it's called PyCharm. So if you can download it before the tutorial, it'll be really great, so you can skip the downloading part on the next tutorial, and you can like go on to the coding part, the fun part, the practical, the fun part. So yes, and that's it for today, that's it for today. Why did I say cut? That's it for today. Alright, today we learned why comment, like we learned what is comment and why should we comment. We learned about lists, how to slice up lists, how to add on the list. Yes, that's it, and I will see you guys in the next video, so don't forget to subscribe to my channel.